This broadcast of Pennsylvania Newsmakers is presented by the State System of Higher Education. 14 state-owned universities. The state system is the largest provider of higher education in Pennsylvania. And by the Hospital and Health System Association of Pennsylvania, working towards a healthy Pennsylvania.
Hi, welcome back to Pennsylvania Newsmakers, where we're going to continue our discussion. You know, Rendell and the agenda. The governor got into the health of the economy. I couldn't have two better guys to talk about the health of the economy than Gene Barr, who's the vice president of the Pennsylvania Chamber of Business and Industry, and Kirk Liddell, who's chairman of the board of the PA Chamber of Business and Industry. Welcome, guys.
Good to be here.
Kirk, let me start with you. Governor said in this speech, I see a state that has the ability to educate and train all of its children and to succeed in today's global economy, and one willing to make the kind of strategic investment that attracts high-wage jobs, keep young people in the state for a lifetime. Now, what's your assessment of where you see the state of the economy right now in Pennsylvania?
Well, right now we're benefiting from a very strong national economy, and I would say most people in Pennsylvania are benefiting to some extent from the national economy, but compared to other states, we're really not doing that well. I'd say we're in the middle of the the middle of the group, or maybe in the lower part of the group in terms of benefiting from this strong national economy. And I think we can do better. I think we should be in the top half of the states.
And do you agree with that assessment?
Yes, Terry, there's some real issues we have to address. And one of the unfortunate headlines, and you as a historian I think will appreciate this, the fact that I saw a headline that Pennsylvania stands to lose another congressional seat in 2010 as a direct result of people leaving the state, and unfortunately in many cases that's a result of not having jobs. That'll leave us with, I believe, the lowest the smallest congressional delegation in 200 years. I think in the span of about 90 years, we've lost half our congressional delegation.
We had 36 in the beginning of the 1930s, 36, and we're down to 19.
Exactly.
No, 19 now. Well, Kirk, let me ask you this question. You know, obviously, you guys are here representing the business community. We expect you to articulate the concerns of the business community. Why don't you and Gene sort of tick off what you think is deterring us? This is, I think, the big thing. What in your mind is deterring us from moving into the top tier of subject you just mentioned?
Well, Terry, I think we're not making the changes that other states have made. We're not moving with other states. For example, legal reform, one of our big issues. Many other states have made significant moves in the area of legal reform. And we've talked a lot, and we've had some bills that have gotten to the governor's desk and so on, but we really, tort reform, different types, which is one of the big issues for business. And the world is changing, and we're not changing along with it. We're also still back in, I think, the thought process of the government solving these problems. We have a lot of regulation, we have a lot of government, we have a lot of taxes, and other states and other nations have moved into much less regulation, much lower taxes and the like. So we're sort of standing still when the other places are moving forward.
Gene, let's pick up on a point that Kirk made. I mean, one of the things with taxes is I know that your organization and other representative business community have fought hard to get some of these taxes reduced. Every time I get into, capital stock and franchise, I think, the remotes are going to go out. But without getting into it, where do you see sort of the business tax structure at the moment as, I guess you would say, still deterring economic growth?
We still have one of the highest corporate net income rates in the country. We've made some strides recently in addressing some of the other parameters of taxes. We do need to do better. Given the problems we're facing, what we referenced, that is the flight of young people and the flight of our population, we need to make even more significant strides on taxes, as well as some of the things Kirk just talked about, like lawsuit abuse reform.
Well, I guess that as long as the economy is strong, I think the likelihood that you can do some incremental tax cuts remains great. But one of the problems, I think, is that there is some concern that the economy will not hold up, that the revenues, for example, that the state takes in to pay the bills may not be as strong as they have been in the past. And that may deter, any future tax cuts, particularly, or reductions in the business community.
Well, there are two things, Terry. That's certainly one of them. The business cycle has not been outlawed. There will be a downturn in the future, and we've had very robust revenues. Last year we had a huge surplus, which was all spent for government programs and the like. That will change. But the other thing is that we've got some programs that are building up huge cost pressures. We have transportation is a huge issue, medical assistance is a huge issue, Medicaid, the education program and so forth. So you've got you know, huge pressures for cost increases, and at the same time, as you say, this great economy may not be here forever.
All right, we're chatting with two representatives of the business community, the PA Chamber in particular. We'll continue this discussion when we return.
This broadcast of Pennsylvania Newsmakers is presented by Highmark Blue Shield, changing the way health plans work for business with a variety of plan options for employers and more choices for employees. Information is available at highmark.com. Have a greater hand in your company's health. And by the Pennsylvania Healthcare Association, the future of long-term care.